bro. You gotta make sure you collect those esports dollars so you can change them into real dollars later on.
Make that money. Make it rain, son. Make your parents proud.
Yeah, bro. Alright, so spawning on top of our Lavender Zerg from Pulse Esports, he is Kane.
Not to be confused with the wrestler Kane, which I'm not sure if he's still doing what he does, but everybody remembers him. Anyway.
So spawning on the bottom left corner of ESV Cloud Kingdom, we have the blue Terran from Lag Gaming. It is LaGAnwis.
It is LaGAnwis. TVZ here on Cloud Kingdom. One of like the most classic kind of maps nowadays. Like it was, I believe it was a GSL map at first, right? And then it became a ladder map.
No, it went through the Team Liquid map contest.
Oh, did it?
Became a ladder map and then went GSL.
Okay, see? And that's why you're here, to tell me the things that I'm wrong about. Thank you. Because I would just be feeding people wrong information if it wasn't for you. But thank you. No, seriously, I didn't know that. I just learned something new today. But that's awesome. This has become such a classic map now. It's like...
Yeah.
I play this every day on the ladder. Every day. And TVZ, we know that I believe PulseKane beat a Terran to get into this round. So, and we know his Zerg versus Terran is pretty matched up. And LaGAnwis just took out a FG Legend with a pretty good TVT play, I have to say.
Yep. And what we're going to be seeing from Kane again, will he keep trying to go for that fast layer, fast high tech sort of play that we saw him do versus Cantro? It worked pretty well versus Cantro. Will we see it again, though? Is what we'll have to wait for.
There's always a little bit of downtime at the beginning of these games, especially now that StarCraft has evolved so much into, you know, what it used to be, proxy barracks and six pools and just like all these one base play, and now it's evolved into a lot of two base, three base. It's gotten a lot more standard, and now that the game is figured out, and it's kind of become more standard to take an expansion, especially on a really big map. And I feel like the maps play a bigger part into that as well, because like maps before were a lot smaller and a lot more designed for like quick one base rushes and things like that. And over the time, just maps got bigger and bigger, and that kind of two base play was a lot more acceptable because you could survive it.
Yeah. Right now, LaGAnwis just going to be taking his expansion, going to be killing off this neutral supply depot that he doesn't know how it got there, as this is an alien planet, as designated by the ESV Space Shark.
No, we were on one map, and somebody tried to tell me it was underwater, but then there's a flying shark in this one too. Are you telling me this map's underwater? Like, what is this? That's a space shark.
It's just a space shark.
That's right. The logic of a space shark is he's in space. That's all there is to it. So why does everything else not float? Are you telling me the SCVs have gravity boots?
Maybe. Maybe.
Gravity boots. That's gotta get expensive on every SCV, dude. I figured they'd just be like tethered to the command center with like a little safety harness. That would be interesting. You could just harass the safety harness and then they fly off into space. That would. But I don't know the proper way to take that, but it seems interesting to me that he took his natural gases instead of his main gases. Is that maybe more of to make your opponent think like, oh, he's already taken the gases at his natural, so maybe he has 4 geysers instead of 2? Or is that just, I prefer to take these down here?
Well, what it might be is that actually in the main base, one of the geysers will be just a little bit farther away than the other geyser. So in the main base, they're actually at equal distance. That might be it.
Oh, I do see that.
Yeah, and that could be one reason as to why Kane has decided to go for the gases in his natural expansion versus the ones in his main.
Ooh. Link speed about to finish up 1-1 on the way for our Zerg player, and attack upgrade, weapons upgrade level 1 for our Terran player also. Just about to complete, so we're we're about to get into the mid game, where we're gonna start seeing some action, some units being murdered in such interesting ways that I cannot explain. You just have to wait and see. Stay tuned and watch the carnage.
Yeah, and right now Kane gonna be taking his gases in his main base, and there's actually this one Marine over towards by the third that's just standing here and now gonna be devoured by those Zerglings. It was so close to living a good life, and then it decided to.
He was like 4 days away from being on leave, and then he got the unfortunate assignment to stand next to the Zerg's third. It's like, okay, I guess I'll do it since it's orders. Orders are orders. But then I guess nobody taught him not to use the word that he's defining in the definition.
Yeah.
And that's why he was murdered. Because he's a low-level infantry soldier.
Yeah.
Not a battle cruiser commander.
Yes, he certainly is not a Matt Warner or a Jim Raynor.
Because he would be like 3 times bigger than all the other Marines, and smoke would be billowing out of his like uniform or something to distinguish between them.
Yeah.
Or he'd be on fire. He'd just be on fire. Always.
A Marine on fire. That would be pretty cool.
Aliens just don't affect him.
But then wouldn't
They actually make him stronger.
wouldn't a roach just shooting at him like blow him up?
He sacrifices himself, runs into the mineral line, catches all the drones on fire, and has successfully completed his mission. A lot of bailings being made for this attack that he knows is coming. A lot of Marines with 2 medevacs to support. And let's see, a siege tank rallied behind that on its way. 1-1 has finished. 1 armor is about halfway. And now these Lings are going to move out and try and surround these Marines. No. Cleaning up a little bit of creep before he runs away, because it's always terrifying to be out on the map as Terran, or any race for that matter, underneath creep, because you know that your opponent can see you and see everything that you're doing.
Yep.
Leave you a little IM message telling you, I see your siege tanks on siege, I'm going to kill you now.
Yeah. And right now, Kane going to be going for that quick hive once again. His infestors are also on the way, so we're probably going to be seeing some Ultralisks out of Kane, as that is what he did in the first game of the night, or first game of the day versus Cantro. And Ultralisks versus Marine Tech Medevac do very well.
Yeah, especially if they do not see the transition coming and they are not able to produce Marauders. Marauders are like definitely one of the best units in Terran's arsenal against the Ultralisk. And contrary to belief, do not try to land a Viking against an Ultralisk. If you've seen that Heart of the Swarm intro, it doesn't work. They actually get cut in half. It looked really cool. It really did, because I love like the miniguns. Like, you don't realize how awesome the miniguns actually look on the Viking. But it just doesn't work.
Yeah.
Very sorry.
Why that Viking? He was either really brave or really stupid. In front of a Viking.
He was trying to protect his wife, man. His wife is in the city. Oh, a nice little flank going onto this army. These siege tanks gonna get picked off by Zerglings. Now Bailings chasing after the Marines.
And everything
in this
just
army
died.
is gonna get cleaned up.
Everything just died.
And now it looks like LaGAnwis' second army moving out here to try and defend either the third or the natural. Not sure where the Zerg wants to go after that. In this position, I would be my personal opinion to maybe go for the third, but that seems like the most natural reaction
Yeah.
to trying to go and attack the third. So then, using metagame logic, I would go into the natural.
Yep. But I think what Kane's probably going to try doing is he's going to be waiting to get some Ultralisks out, as we do see him moving just a little bit farther back towards himself. And with 3-3 and Adrenal Glands on the way as well, it's probably worth the wait.
And this creep spread is just amazing by Kane. Kane is all the way up into the third of our Terrana player, LaGAnwis, and he just keeps spreading it everywhere. It's basically all over the map. Anything except for the 2 side bases and one little corner. He can see pretty much everything. And it's always a comfortable position when you can see everything that's happening on the map, so you're not really worried about much.
Yeah.
But with
Well,
this Ultralist switch, I'm sorry, go ahead.
As Anwiz, though, he can barely see anything. He's kind of just trapped in his own bases, and if he doesn't make something happen, he's probably going to end up starving his main and natural pretty soon.
Especially since Terran have mules, the minerals get depleted a lot faster than other races.
Yeah. And right now, Anwiz is just trying to keep his defenses up in case Kane comes in there. The Ultralisks are out now, 3-3. And Chitin is plating about halfway done right now.
And as soon as that little drop got on the map and was just simply cleaned up, just missed the end of a little bit of action there. It's fine. Little medevac got murdered. It was okay.
Alright, so we do have 3 Marines also getting murdered by about
Viciously,
about 40
viciously
Zerglings.
murdered.
Yeah.
Because I can't imagine that getting surrounded by tiny little bugs and eaten to death is any kind of a heroic death. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not going to remember Timmy for his wonderful death scene. I don't know. There's just got to be an awful kind of death for these Marines. I would not. I would not. I would not want to be just requesting to be sent out on the map at this point. There's creep everywhere now. Kane taking his 4th and 5th is his 5th actually taking his 5th. His 4th is complete over here on the right side of the map. Yeah. And basically just positioning any point, trying to find a little weak spot in the armor of LaGAnwis. And attacking up that third would probably not be a good idea at this point. He would lose a lot of units.
Yeah, that is very true.
With the good, so many siege tanks, Thors being introduced now. Let's see, and also Marauders. Now that he has seen the Ultralisks, he has about 13 Marauders. But it looks like he's gonna go for it. These Ultralisks taking some siege shots. Lings and Bailings streaming into here. Fungals going down.
And so far it looks like Kane was just able to muscle through everything. Those Banelings helping so much the tanks under direct fire from the Ultralisks, while the Ultralisks were just a little bit out of place, and 2 of the Ultralisks dancing there.
They may have been dancing or making out, I'm not sure. That looked a lot like they were giving each other hugs. All they want is hugs, folks. If they can't get hugs from the Marines that they just murdered, they're gonna hug each other.
Yeah.
That's all one is hugs, bro. But Kane able to keep a lot of his infestors alive and Ultralisks, which is what you want to do. You want to keep those units alive as long as possible, transfusing the Ultralisks with the Queens, and able to just reinforce with the fastest units that Zerg have, Lings and Bailings, making the Bailings right in front of the third. So you're just gonna move right out as soon as the Bailings are finished.
Yeah.
Transfusing an infestor just for the fun of it, just so that infestor does not die.
And now Kane gonna be going in for a second round here. The Zerglings and Ultralisks are moving up. The Banelings not yet hitting anything. Now gonna be blowing up on the Thors. That's not really that great, but it does help the Ultralisks clean them up even faster. And now,
like, there's too much Zerg
more
stuff.
dancing.
Ultralisk dancing again, doing the Ultralisk mambo.
Yeah, and the Ultralisks just pressing forward right now. The Infestors going to be dropping down a few infested Terrans.
They don't need your money, money. They just want to party, party, party. 'Cause
And
they
the
have
Ultras,
Ultralists.
the Ultras just keep on dancing. They're not gonna stop.
At this
And
point,
happy
he's just gonna
face.
keep sending. He's gonna rally Lings, Bailings, everything he has over to this third, and this third is gonna slowly get cleaned up. He is almost mined out at his main and a very
GG.
small amount of minerals at his natural, so that's just gonna have to be it for LaGAnwis. Beautiful play from our Zerg player, PulseKane. Immaculate creep spread. And just making me want to play Zerg so I can dance Ultralists.
So very well played by both players there, but Kane with his early Hive and Lair was just able to power through so much there. And his Ultralists, bro, they remind me of his game that he played last summer versus Select. He just kept dancing them. Just kept on dancing them.
He just wants to dance, man. That's his dream. He's always wanted to be a dancer. And then he realized he was really good at StarCraft, but these units can dance too. So what I could do is I can combine both of my talents by playing well and making Ultralists dance. Other normal players can't even make Ultralists dance. You type /dance and the game laughs at you because you're not PulseKane. Stop trying to make us dance.
Yeah. And we're actually not going to be taking a break here. We're going to be getting straight into it because
Awesome.
LaGAnwis did not delay in telling me what his next map was going to be.
I should love it when they're just like, I want to play. Let's go, 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 go. I'm ready.
Yeah. Damn it. Come on. Alright, well, I make grunting noises. Why don't you tell them where they can find out more about IvD Gaming?
Yes, guys, don't forget you are watching IvD Gaming, IvD Tournaments number 80, where we are giving away $200, $100 to the first place winner, $70 to the second place winner, and $30 to the third place winner. You can check us out at ivdgaming.com. We have a YouTube page called IvD TV, twitter.com/IvD Gaming, facebook.com/IvD Gaming. And check us out on Zeke. Zeke is our wonderful friend in all of this that helps us out with setting these tournaments up for free, which is a wonderful site. If you want to play any StarCraft tournaments, you would like to maybe try and be a caster, see what you can do, try and help us out, that would be wonderful. We'd love to meet you. Go to ivdgaming.com, check out the Contact Us section. But we are ready to get into this game.
Yeah, and it's going to be GSL Antigua Shipyard spawning on top of the pink or lavender Zerg from Pulse Esports. He is Kane.
He's too manly for pink, bro. He's lavender all the way.
Alright. And spawning on the bottom left base of Antigua Shipyard, we have from Lag Gaming, Blue Terran down 0-1. It is LaGAnwis.
And Whis. Does that sound like some kind of entree or something? Would you like the anwis today, monsieur? Oh, yes, please, thank you. Thank you, Travis. I would like the anwis. I'm sure that's something. I don't know the term for whatever anwis may happen to be, but for now I'm going on, it's an entree at Applebee's. Because Applebee's have French waiters.
Alright.
At least mine does. But another wonderful TVZ classic matchup here. Aliens versus the Marines, the Space Marines, no less. Because there's no Marine like a Space Marine.
Yep.
It's gone so far.
Normally, if you say GLHF this late into the game, according to Day 9, you would be cheesing, but we know Kane is not doing that.
He could proxy hatch. We never know. Oh, he's going to proxy hatch at his natural. I see.
Yeah. This sneaky guy, sneaky guy.
No, I always get more scared if is that proper? I don't think that's a proper way to say that, but I always get that's just the way I'm gonna say it because it's the only way. I always get more scared if they don't say GLHF because like either they don't know what StarCraft is or they know exactly what StarCraft is and they don't want to wish me good luck, you know. So I'm always a little worried that they're cheesing me if they don't say GLHF.
Yeah. Or they're just a guy that does not understand GLHF because since there's global play now, I went to the Korean server and then I played with a guy and like I'm like GLHF and then like a minute later I'm like, why didn't you say GLHF? And then he's just like, what's GLHF? I'm just like,
Upgrade
okay.
complete.
I don't understand this language, the StarCraft language that you speak. Golhuff. Whatever. Golhuff to you too, my friend. Merry Golhuff.
So it's the GLHF. It's very mind gamey. It means a lot more than people would think.
I know, right? It's crazy how that kind of happens. But I love how in Korea everyone's so manner. And it's like, if you don't say it, you're a bad person.
Yeah. Alright. So, Kane just going to be getting his queens right now. And they're going to try killing off Anwis's SCV. It will go down. Anwis.
On the other hand, Anwis does have, he did go for 1 Rax expand, now throwing down two more racks and another and both of his gases at his main, which is similar to the thing that he did in the last game, I believe. If not the exact thing.
Yeah. So Anwa is not going to be going for the normal 1-1-1 play. Do you think we might see a stim or +1 timing because of the double gas?
I believe that's what he tried last time. He got he'll get an tech lab on one of these barracks that he just built and start getting stim right there. There it goes down. And most likely we'll start getting stim. And I'm always afraid of any kind of early attack with maybe just Marines or Marauders or something, or just Marines, because it seems like it can only work for so long. You know, Marines are really good, but by themselves they can get picked off quite easily by just Lings or Ling Bailing or a Spine Crawler and some Lings. You know, they're by themselves they are not as hyped up as they are when they're, you know, with Siege Tank protecting them, with Medivacs above them, with all these things that combine to make them amazing.
Yeah. And right now Kane also going to be going again for this fast lair. He's really done well with it in his TVZ play. So far that's all he's done. And it's
I
been
like the engineering thing.
Yeah, we do have stim and +1 on the way, and a factory now as well.
But Kane gonna go for I believe a two base muta play again. 2-base muta and slowly transition into mutaling bailing. We'll get his third probably around maybe the 8-9 minute mark, or maybe this drone is gonna go do that right now. Possibly.
Yeah. Maybe.
Okay, seven. No, he doesn't have enough money quite yet. So about 8 minutes. Yeah. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah. Alright, and the hatchery will go down, so Kane will be getting his third base. And the Spire and Bailing Nest about 3/4 done right now.
And another thing, the only thing that our Terran player has scouted is he did see the natural going up, and he saw the early layer. So he can either speculate that it's gonna be some kind of early attack with either, you know, Roaches, Hydras, or Muta Ling Bailing. So he has maybe an inkling of what might actually be coming, but he does not know for a fact that the Spire is finished. And let's see, 8 mutas are being produced along with bailing speed, and he did the same thing last time. He starts making the mutas and then starts bailing speed.
Yeah. And right now Anwis, his +1 is finishing up. Will he try and going for a bit of a push with this? If he does, it's going to not be good for him, as the Mulisks are out and heading across the top side of the map straight to the main base of Anwis here.
They're gonna be able to get off some nice damage because there's nothing to defend over here. All the Marines in the natural, no turrets up yet. He does have that engineering bay at the natural. Here comes the mutas to start picking off SCVs one by one,
And
running
now
the SCVs away.
these SCVs are still in here. A missile turret will try going down. A few Marines will stim after these Mulisks.
Nope, losing one muta.
Oh no.
One muta, two mutas, losing two mutas to the small group of Marines. At this point in the game, you want as many mutas as you possibly can have, because the lings and bailings are going to be the ones that are expendable. The mutas are what you need to keep alive. And losing two mutas could be quite detrimental to his attack. But this is going to be so many bailings. All these Marines kind of ran out to go see what was going on, and now they see that there are a lot of bailings. That bunker, unfortunately, was salvaged, and now these Marines are just going to have to run for their lives against a line of bailings.
That is so many
bailings here
right
to take out every SCV that he has. Trying to split the SCVs, quite nicely done by LaGAnwis. But now bailing's just going to roll up into the main and do some damage that he's going to have nightmares about.
Kane has done so much damage with this attack right now. Still banelings left over, more Zerglings still coming in. 22 workers killed in total right now. It is double the worker count in favor of Kane. 60 supply difference right now. Kane, I think he might have done it. He might have sent this to a game number 3.
That's right, and I think that was the last of the SCVs that just went down. 48 drones to 0 SCVs.
GG. Alright, so we're going to be heading to a game number 3 now, as this is the first best of 5. And I believe after this, we will be done. If...
No!
Yeah.
Yeah, we must stretch it out.
Alright. So, again, please, if you want to cheer for your favorite player, tweet at IvD Gaming with hashtag IvD80. And
that's right.
Yeah, show your support.
Wear one of those wristbands. I'm sure we have one somewhere. If not, you can make your own. Get a little wristband and carve IvD into it, or what would IvD do? Because I think that could totally work. And you could look down at that all the time and think, what would these guys do? I don't know.
All right, and
I'll have to set that up with my marketing team. We'll see how that can go through. Well, we're just waiting for for the map pick, which it is done. And getting into the game.
It's going to be GSL Daybreak. Just going to be inviting everyone in here. There we go. And then invite LaGAnwis, and we will be ready to go.
Was it? Oh yeah, we did a TVT. I thought I was gonna say like it was all Zergs versus Terrans. That's all we did. But we did have a TVT.
Yep.
Don't forget, guys, we have other streams going on right now. If you are wondering how QXC is doing, Apocalypse, Trimaster, they are in this tournament and fighting for their lives, fighting for $100, or $70, or $30.
Yeah. Alright, and the players have said they're ready. The countdown has begun. And we're going to be getting into possibly the last game of this best of 5.
No, I've got to cast my butt off, man. I had to censor myself, I'm sorry. Don't forget, guys, go to ivdgaming.com where you can check out all the stuff about us. Contact us. We're looking for any kind of casters. If you would like to try to cast, or you'd like to be comfortable, whatever you're comfortable with casting, we'd love to hear you and talk to you, meet you. But while I was talking about that, let's go ahead and introduce these players spawning on Daybreak. At the bottom left, we have our lag player. In the blue, LaGAnwis. Oh yeah. And then spawning at the top right, we have our Lavender Zerg. Been playing extremely well in all of these matches today. PulseKane. Yes, his I must say, like, his creep spread is just is quite amazing, inspiring. In fact, it makes me want to play Zerg so I can see the entire map at all points in time.
Or you could just get 100 observers.
That's true. I could create a build, the double robo, one solely for observers, the other one for things that I can't afford because I'm making observers the entire game.
Yeah.
They're not like a 75 gas, I believe. That's a little bit of gas, man. It's the only thing that's like 75 gas in the whole arsenal of Protoss, I think. Well, it's not really
Yeah.
arsenal. It's not really a fighting unit. That'd be cool if it could like contaminate buildings or something. Make it a little bit more useful. But
That
it's
would
so
be-
slow, dude. I love that there's a speed upgrade. Maybe since they're just taking out all the upgrades, they'll just get rid of like upgrades like that, and the observer will be forever fast.
There was one game, or not yesterday, Wednesday I think it was, where someone actually got observer speed, and I'm just like, holy crap, observers need
What
to
is
have
this? What is this upgrade in the production tab that I'm seeing that I've never seen before in my entire life? The only
Yeah.
time I've ever gotten observer speed is whenever I'm beating a person so bad that it gets to the point where like, okay, I'm just gonna get every upgrade and every tech possible.
Yeah, I'm just like, but observers though, they go so fast with that upgrade. It's
Yeah, and I think
amazing.
that's the only other thing that the robotics bay has is speed upgrades. It has two
Yeah.
speed upgrades and one range upgrade. One for the Colossus, and then a speed upgrade for the Warp Prism, and a speed upgrade for the Observers. Like, why can't I just have them be fast in the first place? Why do I have to upgrade that?
Or why not just one speed upgrade for Colossus, Immortals, Warp Prism, and Observers?
God.
One button for all four.
One button. Well, that's what I don't know. That's what upgrades are for. But I just don't like that. I don't know. I completely understand why the observer has to be slowed down. But anyway, before I go too far on that tangent, it looks like LaGAnwis doing the exact same build as he did last time, throwing down these 2 additional barracks, and then gonna throw down his 2 gases in his main, which seems to be pretty standard for him. He's done this every game since I've been observing him, and I expect to see it this game as well. There's 1, and that's 2. I was right.
Yeah. And right now, as you said, Bailey, Anno is just doing his regular build that he's done for the past 2 games. I really do think, though, he needs to attack early on. We do see Kane, he enjoys going fast layer, fast hive, and it really works out for him very well as he's able to just put on pressure and even end it right away.
Right. And once again, taking his Kane, preferring to take the gases in his natural. I don't, I'd have to ask him myself and ask him the decisions behind that. But I'm sure it doesn't matter. But what I'm thinking of is, since the natural is obviously not the main, it's easier to get harassed or something like that. Hellions run in here, things like that. So it messes up your gas mining more to have it at the natural. I'm not saying that it's, any kind of bad idea, because I don't know. I'm sure this has worked out for Kane so many times, but that's the only thing that I can think of that would cause a potential problem, is that, that line gets harassed more than the main would, maybe.
Yep. Right now,
But a
these
small
2
little group of Marines did try to pressure these queens, but I believe 2 queens is enough to beat 4 Marines. Could be
Yeah,
wrong.
but that does seem like the right count, just because of how strong queens are, as 2 queens can beat about 4 hellions.
Oh yeah, with transfuses and everything. Ann was going to try and get a cancel on this, but I believe he has enough lings, and the slow-moving queens will make it their way over here.
And this hatchery is taking quite a bit of damage right now. There is no metabolic boost on the Zerglings either. Gonna try surrounding. And Slowlings, not as good as Cracklings.
No, definitely not. I mean, lings are really good in a massive number, but slow lings off of creep, guided by Marines, can work in the Marines' favor a lot of the time. But since they were just outnumbered at that point, and still a little bit had taken a couple of shots from those queens, they're a little bit weakened, so not able to kill off all those lings. Third base finishing up for our Pulse player Kane. And our Terran player just gonna keep macroing up, nice little supply wall to keep his mains saved. Same thing that we've seen in other matchups. You want to kind of force them to go all the way around instead of having it open into your main, so they can run into your main as well. So you at least have one mining base.
Yep, and now Anwa's going to be dropping down that third command center here, getting his stim, getting his +1. But he needs to do something with it, though. That's a problem he's had for the past 2 games. He just idled on those upgrades, finishing up, and then not doing anything with it.
He has a decent, as unit counts go, he has 21 Marines against the 8 Lings of his opponent, and of course, those Lings now being turned into Baylings for defensive purposes, most likely. But at this point, this is when it gets really comfortable for the Zerg player to just constantly make units. He has 70 drones, 3 bases, and a stable economy. At this point, he can basically just keep making stuff and throwing it at you until he takes out, because he'll slowly kill your SCVs and take out your economy, while he's sitting back with a perfectly fine 3 mining bases. Probably going to take a 4th, once he gets comfortable enough. But 70 drones is a stable number. That is like the perfect number to stop droning. And now he's just going to make units and hold this off.
Yeah, and the Zerglings now coming in on creep and with Metabolic Boost. The Bayling's going to be hitting all of this.
This beautiful control. He moved the Lings all the way back behind the Marines, so the Marines were unable to kite. And then the Baylings come in there and push in from the front and just blast green stuff everywhere.
Yeah. And these Zerglings and Banelings are just kind of following the medevacs a little bit, now deciding to stop at the edge of the creep. But yeah, Nashi, as you've said throughout this entire series, and I guess all day long, Kane, his creep spread is pretty good.
Yeah, man, look at that. We're at 11 minutes into the game, and he has almost the entire side of his map just covered. He can see anything. He saw all of those units coming to his third base. So he was able to make Baylings, Lings, get all of his units in position in time. And these are things that a Zerg always needs to understand, that like that's obviously the purpose that it serves, is to give you just like that little bit of information so you can know when you need to make units, when you need to make drones and stuff like that. But at this point he's sorry, go ahead.
A few more Marines gonna get caught, gonna get picked up by the medevacs there, as Kane is moving across the map here. And Kane has quite a large force.
Yeah, he's just going to use these Lings and Baylings over here to probably stop the third command center from landing. Always love to see Lings burrowed underneath those command centers. The hologram of the command center as it comes in. No, that's weird, because it's not an orbital hologram. It's a command center hologram. Ah, Blizzard, you messed up. Ah. Little tiny mistakes that are figured out 2 years later.
Maybe what happens is that when it's on a command center hologram, because the orbital command closes when it lands and then reopens.
Does it?
I don't know, maybe.
No, it doesn't. The satellite dish is like open when it's flying, which is kind of crazy, because it'd be a giant, it would just tip over. If it's flying forward right now, the satellite dish would fly off. I don't know how fast of a speed that it's moving at, or how strong the stability of that giant radio dish is, but it still seems illogical.
Yeah.
It seems like a pretty strong radio dish, actually. But anyway, yeah. I mean, 14 minutes into the game here, and we have creep spread over every lane. He's positioned all of his units into an aggressive position, to where if the Terran makes any kind of positional mistake, the Zerg's just gonna either be able to run over here on the third, or go straight into the natural. Now actually hiding his units.
And right now, Kane is at 170 to Anwa's 142 supply, and
a small drop on the right side, gonna go for the 4th base.
And it's heading across the bottom right now. The medevac's coming in. There is a queen and a spine crawler already, and it looks like now it's gonna go for the 3rd instead, probably hoping that there isn't any sort of defense there.
Well, and that's another thing about the creep spread. He's got creep everywhere, so he sees it, and he just starts moving all of his units all over the map. So he's got a giant clump of Lings and Baylings at the 3rd now. But now, since he changed up his mind, and he's going to drop at the the fourth anyway. He's able to actually pick off a couple drones.
Yep, and
This
now
is
all
gonna
those
be cleaned
Zerglings
up.
coming in now.
Nope. Misses the
Back.
fungal. Oh, he does get the fungal. Fungal.
Being fungal to death is what K needs to do right now.
Yeah.
And the medevac should be dying right now, yeah. With all 8 Marines inside.
And those Marines just fall into the abyss of whatever space station this happens. Just fall into space. Actually, they would just float up. I don't know.
They just float there.
They just float there for the rest of the game, and we'll come and we'll check in on them periodically during the game.
Yeah. Alright, so Kane at the moment doing pretty good at denying map control for Anwiz.
Yeah, Pulse is just. Oh, I'm sorry. Anwis is just trying to keep this creep spread back as far as he can. It's pushing into his third at this point. It's like it's creeping into his third for a lack of better words. It's creeping into his third, and like that's you never like to see that, man. This is my home. Stop creeping up my home.
Yeah, and a sensor tower now going down. Anwiz, he's probably really in an awkward position right now. He literally cannot step out of any of his bases. He cannot create any bases either.
Drops would be a good idea right now, but since he's not gone with Broodlord, he's gone with Ultralisks, it's going to be harder for those drops to actually do a lot of damage because his army is really mobile. mobile. Throwing down 2 Spires now, so most likely going to want to try and get double air upgrades, because that's definitely not a mistake. He placed them right next to each other.
Yeah. And right now, yeah, it's going to be one getting Greater Spire, one going to be Flyer attacks, which is a smart move. That way you can have that upgrade. As the Broodlords, when they shoot their Broodlings onto something, there's impact damage and then whatever melee upgrade is already available.
He's got a healthy, SCV count. He's got 70 SCVs. He's got 70 SCVs to 80 drones. And, I mean, this is great, but just on 3 bases, it's going to be hard to be able to push back all of the stuff and then re-max. Because the Zerg has all of these hatcheries. Oh, another Ultralisk coming up here, just kind of get picked off for free. Maybe a little bit of control mistake right there, but that's okay. I'm sure he has the Ultralisk to spare.
And what it might have been is that he's trying to free up supply for the Broodlords, because if he wasn't, he probably would have
he's
already pulled it back.
Yeah, he's dancing. He was dancing one of those Ultralisk as it got siege tanked to death.
Yep. And a Thor did just die because the medevac got fungled and killed off 5 infested Terrans.
And that's unfortunate to lose a medevac and a Thor.
Yeah.
Now switching into Broodlords, and once these Broodlords get out, it's going to be really scary because he's just going to be able to siege up the siege tanks of Anwis. And siege tank becomes so less effective when they have small little things nibbling on them, which they are unable to attack themselves. And I'm sorry, Kane actually taking this the potential 5th or 4th base of the Terran player. So basically taking almost every map or every base on the map now, and just in a commanding position at this point. Oh no, a bunch of these siege tanks kind of he's trying to push out as strongly and as steadily as he can. Push out, clean up this creep. He's doing a pretty damn good job of it, actually. Trying to position, keep all siege tanks protected by other siege tanks.
Yep.
But here comes the Broodlords, and he sees the Broodlords.
And now he is probably scared shitless at the moment.
He is having a poo-poo platter in his pants. And now these Broodlords are going to just be able to clean up, having to make these siege tanks unsiege. And almost
Oh, the tanks, they're getting friendly fired as well. The Broodlord's Corruptor is killing so much.
And at this point, he just can't do any damage to the Broodlords. The Broodlords are just going to kill him by themselves, because he's taking splash damage from his own tanks. Finally, a Thor is actually attacking one of the Broodlords. Beautiful fungals going down on all these Marines and Marauders. Now Lings, Ultralisks, and Bailings streaming in here.
And now
Here
Kane,
comes the
he's just gonna roll over everything with these Banelings right now. The
This is what he
Ultralisk
decides.
in the natural, killing so much here.
It's the Ultralist dance hour.